Hi, I'm Anthony Originello, CEO of the Chartered Professionals in Human Resources for BC and Yukon. We represent more than 8,000 members, and as the organization dedicated to advancing the HR profession through education, advocacy, awareness, professional development, as well as our recognized and impactful CPHR designation, we are proud to be a sponsor of this show. We have been the voice of the HR profession since 1942. Learn more about us at cphrbc.ca.
In this edition of Careers That Matter, I'm joined by Dr. Jillian Belbin, the president of the BC Dental Association. Welcome.
Thank you, Stuart.
As president of the Dental Association, what's your job?
Well, I have a lot of different things that I do. Number one is I'm the spokesperson for the BC Dental Association.
That's the outward.
That's the outward-facing part of me.
Yeah.
And as well, behind the scenes, we're involved in a lot of decision-making on all the aspects that matter to our members. We're a member service organization, so advocacy, developing fee guides, member resources, just on and on and on.
Are there training programs and so on as well that are all associated with the association?
We just have a very robust website and materials to help dentists. We're basically there to do everything we can to make our members' lives easier as dentists.
And so, are you part of a team then that does all this? And what's that team look like?
I'm very fortunate to have a board that represents regions from all across BC, as well as a fantastic CEO and staff at BCDA. So we're very, very lucky. The team at BCDA is amazing, and they work very, very hard.
So the role, it's basically volunteering, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much, originally I started with the BCDA in 2019. I've been involved in organized dentistry for quite a while, starting back in Kelowna with the Kelowna District Dental Society, on the executive there for 8 years. The Thompson Okanagan Dental Society, I think I've been through every position in there and now actually hold the position of executive director. And it was through the Thompson Okanagan Dental Society that I was exposed to the BC Dental Association. I was able to come down for a meeting and thought, wow, I really like this. I've always been drawn to organized dentistry and had the opportunity to put my name forward for a region back in 2019, and here I am.
Now, isn't there a process that you go through? You have one role and another, you're vice president, and then you become, what's that process look like?
So starting off as a director on the board.
Yeah.
When I was doing that, we were able to run for two-year terms. Now we've increased that to 3. And then you can put your name forward as far as a nomination to become secretary-treasurer. We've now changed that position to vice president. And then again, an election for president-elect. And then once you're president-elect, you're automatically president for the following year.
So the following year. And then is there a term afterwards that you're still...
Yes. So still involved. You learn a lot during those years, and it's nice to be able to be a resource for whoever needs me. So yes, we've recently introduced a 1-year past president role on the board. So we'll attend board meetings and chair a few committees, and just so we can continue to just keep that connection.
It's quite a commitment.
It is, but I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
so
I really do.
In this role, how much of your time on a weekly basis do you devote to the role? Because it's not a full-time gig, is it?
No. Basically, I'm a practicing dentist as well. I find, a lot of times during the week it's emails or phone calls, things like that. We have a 1-hour weekly meeting with my CEO. And, the one thing that I do really enjoy is we get to travel and do presentations to local dental societies. So depending on what the schedule is like, sometimes there's more travel than other times, and attending conferences support the other provincial and territorial dental associations as well.
Now, you did mention that you are still a practicing dentist.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Tell us about your practice.
Yep. So I work part-time now as an associate. My husband and I we're classmates.
Yeah. And he's a dentist as well?
He is a dentist,
okay.
Yeah. When we graduated from University of Alberta, we actually moved to Vancouver for a year. We were living in North Van, and the practice opportunities were a little easier in Kelowna, and we found a practice, and we worked at that practice, owned that practice together for close to 25 years.
Wow.
And recently decided to sell the practice, so I'm in a new role now as an associate.
Ah, okay. So let's go back to the beginning and work our way back up to this then, because as an associate, you're not working full-time.
No, I just work part-time.
Which allows you to evenly sort of move your time around with the association and helping out.
Right.
So you went to high school where?
In Edmonton.
Yeah? Did you, when you graduated from grade 12, go, I want to be a dentist?
You know, I didn't know at the time.
No?
No, so I knew I wanted to do something in science. So I did start at the University of Alberta. And I was fortunate enough to, basically I just thought, you know, I want to do something in healthcare.
Yeah.
I considered medicine, but I just thought, you know, I don't think I can deal with the life and death stress. You know, it was something that just concerned me, as well as perhaps the, you know, the workload and the toll that it may take on my life as far as the schedule. So I thought, well, what other things can I do in healthcare? I thought the idea of running a business was appealing to me. So I thought, you know, maybe dentistry, you know? And so basically what I did is I spent some time with my family dentist, shadowed her for quite a number of days, talked to her about it, and thought, you know what, I think I would like this. Nobody in my family was a dentist, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna apply. So in my second year at the University of Alberta, I applied, and you know, you do an aptitude test, and I did it twice just to make sure I got the highest mark I could. I applied. I was fortunate enough to get an interview and was accepted. So I know that sounds really easy, but
No.
it worked out really well for me. So I was actually, after 2 years, I was accepted into dental school, and here we are.
Wow. Okay. So you graduate
Yes.
and you decide, okay, did you at that point go, because you talked about going, oh, well, maybe I would like to have a business. Did you immediately say, okay, I'm going to go out and establish my own practice? Or do you go and work as an associate somewhere else?
You know what? It was this was a long time ago. 1996 is when I graduated. So my husband and I just thought, you know what? We want to go to BC. We want to go to Vancouver. Let's see who may need someone to fill in for vacation relief or maternity leave or whatever situation there may be. So we sent out resumes. And we came out and we met with people. We knocked on doors and went into offices. And I actually was fortunate enough that we were here for a year, and I worked at 5 different offices that first year doing vacation relief, mat leaves, etc. And the nice thing about that is I really did find just little tidbits from each location I worked. Thought, you know what, I think I love how they do this, or maybe that wouldn't work for me in an office. But we always had the intention of purchasing a practice, which we did after a year. We actually almost bought a practice in Deep Cove, but the individual that was selling changed her mind and it fell through, and we just thought, you know what, maybe let's look elsewhere. Maybe, you know, where else do we know in BC? And I hadn't been to a lot of other places yet in BC, and Kelowna was one of them, and here we are. It just
So there
happened
was a
out.
practice there that was
There was
available.
a practice for sale. There was a few, and we had a look and just felt, you know, even when I walked in the door, I thought this is a good fit for us. So it was after 1 year of practice, we did buy our practice.
So what is the process of buying somebody else's practice? Because do the patients come with you guarantee, or
You hope so.
what
You
do
hope so.
Because you're buying equipment,
Yeah.
leases, like you're assuming leases and hopefully taking over the patient load.
Yes. So you know what? We call it goodwill. So you are purchasing the goodwill, and so depending on how many active patients are in a practice, it kind of sets out the cost of the practice. And you know, patients are pretty agreeable. I think they'll give you a chance, and if you do okay, they'll stick around. And so you know, we just did our best to treat patients as we would want to be treated, and same with the staff. And we were able to grow the practice, so it was a good opportunity.
So for somebody who's looking at doing that, they're going, okay, well, yeah, I think I will choose dentistry, but this bit about buying a practice, where do I get the money to do that? Because I'm just coming out of school.
Right.
Do dentists generally help sort of fund one another in transitions, or or do you have to go to the bank and borrow money? Like, what is that process?
Typically, the bank they're pretty open to lending for dentists. It's you know, they don't see dentistry as a risky opportunity, so they tend to be quite generous as far as loans. There's other ways, you know, some people will stay as associates for longer, or some people will go into partnerships. Other people may find an associateship with the opportunity to perhaps buy in later on. So it gives them a little bit of time to work on their student loan debt and get their speed up and get more comfortable before they take that on. We just felt that we were ready after a year, and you know, obviously you had to take a loan and work away at paying that off, but it was a good move.
You're running a small business, though.
Absolutely.
And so you've got staff, you've got all. So where did you pick up the skills to do that? Or is that part of the dental education?
You know, there is time spent during dental school on that. Probably not as much as there should be. At the BC Dental Association, we provide a lot of resources just on exactly that: how to develop your office culture, HR policies, employment standards, just office manuals, all those things, templates for different things that we didn't exactly learn in dental school. So some of it's trial and error, some of it's just learning what the office was doing before and tweaking it or continuing as is, and sometimes relying on the staff. If you have a great front end person or an office manager, you're able to leverage their knowledge as well.
So 25 years, you said you've had this practice? How many patients did you have when you started, and how many at the time that you now are handing it off?
Probably, I think close to 1,500 patients originally, and I think when we did sell it, we were probably around 4,000. I could be a bit wrong on that, but
wow. And that's a reflection of the fact that you were in a growing community as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And it's been a great career.
It has been, and I find that basically doing my best for my patients brings me a lot of joy, and being able to interact with my patients, get to hear about their trips and hear about their grandkids and all those different things, and interact with my team. It's one of the things that I enjoy the most.
Okay, you're still young, so what are you going to do next?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to have to stick around in dentistry for a while because my daughter's actually in dental school.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So my husband and I both want to be around to mentor her, to be able to help her just, kind of learn the right way to do things, and help her when she has questions, be able to peek over her shoulder and say, hey, why don't you try this? Whether she wants the advice or not, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure she would like it.
Okay, one other question here about being a dentist.
Yes.
How many hours a day do you generally put in, and how many days of the week? Because you're running a small business.
Yeah.
So you got to do a lot of that work.
Yeah.
What's the workload like?
You know what? It's depends on the situation. For me, when we had our practice, I would work 2 days a week. My husband worked 4. So I was the one who did all the HR stuff. I was the one who did the office management. So it's hard to quantify how much time, but it kind of always felt like there was something to do. Probably not on the weekends so much, but there's always something to do. So I'd come in on my days off, things like that. But it's manageable. And once you set up systems and you have a good flow, that workload decreases, and it's very manageable.
And it's a good career.
It is a good career. It absolutely is a good career.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us an insight into your current role in the dental landscape and your path to getting to here.
Thank you.